We are live. Are we live on that one too?
Yes, we are.
Alright guys, so we are live, and what I'm going to do today is a PlaceForPros tutorial on how to install this Guru waterproof membrane on your wall. So here we have a little set up in our studio. Show them the cool lights we just got. Look at these cool lights. That's how you know it's actually legit. So today, welcome. First of all, welcome. Also, I want to thank PlaceForPros for helping this happen. What we're doing with PlaceForPros that's different with all the other platforms out there is that free, or just part of the platform of what we have, is that we're offering these live trainings every couple of weeks. Like last week we did, or 2 weeks ago we did how to miter your tile. Today we're going to be doing how to install the waterproof membrane. Next week we're going to be doing how to install linear drains, like the Guru linear drains, the two different types. So every week we're going to be doing, every 2 weeks or so, we're going to be doing live trainings and trying to educate our customers, and it's all free as part of the kind of what PlaceForPros is trying to do. So saying all that, if you guys are looking for a Guru shower system, or if you're looking for like Ruby tiling tools, Pronies, anything like that, definitely give PlaceForPros a shot. Take a look at their prices, see what they have to offer. Quick shipping, everything is in stock and in-house of whatever's on the site itself. How many people we got?
We got 140 on the Insta and 77 on Facebook.
All right, guys. Also, so in this, as part of this training, what we are doing is there's a bundle that is live right now on Instagram. If you guys go to the link in my bio and you see right at the top, the first link, there's a bundle for when you buy a 150 square foot roll of the membrane itself. This comes for free. So this is the trowel that you need to use when you're installing your membrane. This comes for free. On Facebook, that's the link right below. If you guys press on that link, you'll be able to go right to the shopping page where you get this, and then you get this guy for free. So let's get into it. First, do you guys have any questions before we start? Alex is on the phone. He's reading all the comments. So don't be hesitant to ask them. I want to make sure that we're as thorough as possible. This is not going to be a sexy live where we're going to do something super cool. This is going to be in-depth tutorial, which will be also saved to the page itself. This is going to be an in-depth tutorial on how to install your membrane on the walls. The method for installing this Guru waterstop membrane is exactly the same. Hold on. Is exactly the same as it would be to install any other brand out there. It would be exactly the same. So the method of what we're going to be doing and the process could apply across, but obviously you should use this one because this is the nicest membrane out there.
That applies to regular drywall, correct?
Obviously we have some regular drywall here just because we're just going to save ourselves $10. But I mean, realistically, in the shower, when you're applying this membrane over the top of the drywall itself, it's 100% waterproof. So you are okay to go with regular drywall inside of your shower, which I know seems really weird. For our job sites, what we typically do is just moisture resistant drywall, which at the end doesn't really matter. I mean, here we have it on our ceiling, but this is a set, so again, it doesn't matter. Because if there's water that gets to the back of it and gets to the drywall itself, it's already ruined. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't really matter if it's moisture resistant or if it's regular. If the water gets past the waterproof membrane itself, it's kind of failed. So that's why it doesn't really matter. So when you are having to scale a business or anything like that, you could have your drywall guys just run through and install the drywall inside your shower itself, and then you just come in and do the membrane. When we were in Louisville a couple weeks ago, and there was a company there that does a full master bathroom in 3 days, including the finish, and including the waterproofing, tiling, everything. But when they get in there, all the drywall is already installed, and they just kind of put the membrane on and they start tiling the same day. No flood test, but whatever.
Would it be an overkill to use waterproof foam board with the membrane?
Yes, yeah. I mean, it's kind of like putting 2 seatbelts on. I mean, would it help? I mean, it wouldn't hurt, but it's just like wasting money for like no reason. Because when you have your foam board out there, it's 100% waterproof. I would not suggest it. If anything, you're only introducing more things that you're doing that could potentially like not be installed right, and maybe now like that membrane could be falling off or something like that. Any more questions that you see really quick?
What kind of boards can the membrane adhere to? I use concrete backer, but I always see you're using green drywall?
I always use green drywall just because I think it's easier to install. It's installing drywall. You use regular drywall screws and everything. Backer board, this can definitely be installed right over cement board, over hardy board, over drywall, whatever. Like it can go right over it. So that can do it. It's just I never use it because I hate cement board. It's just really pain in the butt to cut it. It's pain in the butt to work with it. It's heavy, so that's why I never really use it. Because once you do this, it's a full complete shower system. No water's getting through. And it really doesn't matter. Okay, so what we're gonna be doing here, I just kind of want to get rolling here. What we're going to be installing here, and again, just people tuning in late, this is a PlaceForPros live training where once every couple of weeks we're doing a live training to kind of educate the consumers out there on different methods of work and things like that. This is a Guru waterstop membrane. It's the membrane that we sell on PlaceForPros, and we just wanted to show you how to install it. If you guys buy it today, or not today, obviously it's going to be out there for a couple of days, but right now what we're doing for this live special is when you buy this roll of membrane, you get the trowel that you need to install it for free as part of this little like live bundle that we're doing. So for Instagram, press the link in my bio, and then that will be the first link at the top there in the link tree. On Facebook, that's the link that you should see right at the bottom. You press it and you're able to install it. Because it's not like, this is the trowel that's recommended, 1/8 inch by 1/8 inch notch trowel. That's what you want to be using when you're installing this. That's a lot of talking to start off. Okay, so for what, there's a question?
Yeah, can that be applied to OSB board or plywood?
Technically, yes. Would I recommend it? If you look, and I had obviously if you are going to do that, definitely don't post it online because you're going to get like absolutely roasted for it, I think. But if you look at the letter of the law, quote unquote, or like if you look at the ANSI, like whatever, NTCA, like handbook, all it says is that it needs to have a rigid like structure behind it that doesn't bend. So like it has to be firm to install the membrane over it, and plywood is pretty freaking firm. So yes, you could install this right over it. Guru will approve it because again, Guru follows the NTCA handbook. So as long as you have something rigid behind it, you should be able to install it. Yeah. So okay, the first thing we're gonna do here is that we're going to basically pre-cut everything, and what I'll do is, because once you have everything prepped, so we have our mixer already here, we have our water here, we have our thin set here, and all the little trowels that we need to install this. What you want to do here is we're going to just see, so this is basically our corner 48 by 48 inch shower here. So I'm going to go here, make myself a little mark. And then, well, it looks like we're just going to need 3 pieces, okay? So we're going to need 3 pieces to basically do this whole thing. One last thing that I'm going to say before I get going on this, you guys can keep asking questions, Alex will read them, but the last thing I'm going to say here is get yourself a nice thin set. It's honestly if you're getting anything out of this entire tutorial or this entire session that we're going to do today, getting good thin set is the #1 important thing. If you're just going to go to Lowe's or Home Depot and get those $10 thin sets or $15 thin sets that are just super grainy, it's just not going to work as well. What I like is a thin set that's modified thin set that has a high polymer count to it. So it's more of that kind of frothy, like whipped cream texture, because it just sticks so much better. This right here is Multimax Light. It's my favorite thin set that I have tried for installing this stuff. It's super sticky. It will ruin your clothes, but at the same time, you have a really good working time with it, and it can be applied very thinly. So if you're going to use all set, great thin set for this as well. Will work really well for it. But get yourself expensive thin set, and you won't regret it. Like, you will regret it if you don't, because honestly, you're saving yourself $20 or something like that. And for an entire shower membrane, you'll need half a bag, if not less. So if you're saving yourself $20 don't do that. Just don't do that, okay? Please. So that's what I'm going to recommend. And now we're going to go out here and we're going to pre-cut 3 pieces of this membrane.
Would you compare that to ProLite?
Prolite. I've never worked with Prolite, so I'm not 100% sure. But if it's a high polymer, I mean, what's the, like, what you're looking for here is this ANSI number. So when you have this ANSI 118.15, that will give you a lifetime. That will give you a lifetime warranty with the Guru membrane. So, yeah, and it's a modified thin set. What's nice with this Guru one is they're pretty clear on what you could install over it. So here you could install with modified thin set underneath it and then over it as well. Because I know like some of the other brands are a little bit vague on the thin set situation. So.
Can you do dense shield and membrane?
And what?
And membrane.
Again, you should do one or the other. Maybe dense shield in the corners or something like that. But it's like you're combining two things that's unnecessary. I think it's better to just do one really well over the other, if that makes sense.
What are your thoughts on Ardex X4 thin set?
Ardex X4.
X4.
I've never used it. Do you have a level in here?
Oh yeah, over on the side.
One second. Oops. I've never used it, so I'm not really sure about it. All right, so what's nice here with this membrane is that basically these dots on both sides are aligned. So if I'm gonna be here and I'm just kind of getting that end of the dot and that end of the dot, just connect the lines and then we're gonna be good to go here.
You should see if PlaceForPros will do a bundle of all the material you're using today.
It is, I mean, they don't sell thin set because it's so expensive to ship. Literally all you need is the membrane and we don't sell buckets, right? But we could. I mean, that's a good idea. We should have buckets. But once you have your membrane and you have the trowel, that's kind of all you need. It's the PlaceForPros is just starting out, so it's going to take a minute for them to for us to be like this nice, well-rounded company. But that's why we need your help, because we're trying to do things a little differently. When you're cutting this, just kind of squeeze a little bit and then just push. This is kind of like, you feel like one of those textile masters that, cuts like those cool fabrics.
Is that your workshop?
This is our studio. This is our studio where we film some of our content and we do our trainings, things like that. All right, so check out this move here. So I'm gonna leave that there. And now I'm going to bring it all the way here to the end. Match them here. We're so efficient. We don't even have to use a measuring tape twice. I should still trace it out though. I want this to look legit.
Have PlaceForPros make a heavy-duty mixing bucket that doesn't break like Lowe's buckets do easily.
Yeah, we're trying to actually talk to, yes, that's a great idea. And we'll definitely look into that. Cut this as well. Also, when you're working with the membrane, I know obviously you can use a box cutter. I just like scissors so much more. You have so much more control over them, especially sometimes when you're doing the corners and things like that. It's just much easier to work with. So I'm going to put my knee over here just so I have a little bit of pressure on that. And then go that. If it's not super straight, don't worry about it.
What tape measure do you prefer that doesn't rust out?
Honestly, I'd have a tough build measuring tape, but I really like, there's some Milwaukee measuring tapes. I lose all of them, so I don't never get to a point where they rust out. I always lose measuring tapes, and then Alex tapes some of them too.
Yeah.
Okay, so we needed 3, remember? So I'm gonna go on this mark here. Again, I'm connecting these dots, so they are on the same plane here. Basically, they're symmetrical, I guess. So we're gonna go here and here. Anybody tuning in late, what we're doing here is I don't want to say slow motion, but like an in-depth tutorial on how to install waterproof membrane on your walls. People overcomplicate it. I mean, I get DMs where people are just freaking out about it because it is intimidating. You're kind of like doing wallpaper, but it's really not that hard if you follow some of these tips I'm gonna show you. And this is a PlaceForPros tutorial. Hold on. And the reason we're doing this for PlaceForPros is just to add more value than, like, let's say other stores that are out there. This is all for free. We're not charging anybody anything for this, but obviously we would appreciate your business. If you're buying any Guru shower system stuff, PlaceForPros, check out their prices. We stock all of their materials and everything so you can quickly get it. All right, an important thing here is that, and this is more of my OCD, is that I'm going to roll it up. I'm going to roll it up like this, so then when I roll it down, all the letters are facing down. It's important for when you're making content that it looks legit. Because if you come in, if your client walks in and all your letters are upside down, they're gonna question you. They're gonna say, like, what is wrong with this person? So it doesn't have to be crazy like that, but it's like you think it doesn't matter until, like, you see one upside down and then you're like, dang. All right, so we're rolling it up, and then we're basically gonna have these little rolls there that are going to just drape down when we're installing it. If you guys have any questions, Alex is reading. Don't hesitate to ask them.
Do you prefer a digital tape measure or
Nah.
a regular tape measure?
That's just regular. I don't know. Digital is cool for when you're doing estimates. One of those little laser measurers, they're awesome when you're doing measurements, estimates and stuff, because you can run in there and you look kind of cool. All right, so we got our 3 pieces here. All this stuff can hang out there.
Should make 7-gallon buckets instead of 5.
Yeah, right, because when you dump all of it, but honestly maybe 5 is fine just because you're not you're not biting off more than you can chew. And that's one of the big things here. When we're installing this, the most important thing here, how many people we have right now?
We have 118 on Insta, 61.
Let's go, guys. All right, the important thing here also is that you're not biting off more than you can chew, or you're not troweling more than you can install. Jesus Christ, what was that?
It was the vacuum.
Okay, vacuum. What you want to make sure is that the key to this is to have your thin set very sticky. So I'd rather see you do, especially if you're not really feeling comfortable doing fast or going faster, just do it more in sections. Like cut that in half and overlap it, but do it like a small section and then a small section. I'm gonna do one full section from bottom to the top because I feel comfortable doing that. But do not try to trowel out the entire shower and then try to do all of that at once. It's just just slow down, and then the better the thin set, the stickier the thin set, the easier it will be to have really good coverage and transfer.
I'm not a pro, but what is the difference between this and the Schluter system?
So in terms of the actual membrane itself, the way that they do it is just a little different. So here you have fabric on both sides. You have fabric on this side and you have fabric on the back side of it. So when you're actually applying this to it, you have fabric on the back that will kind of bite into that thin set itself. Also, this waterproof membrane, even though it's the same cost or even a little bit cheaper than the Schluter one, this membrane is already steam shower rated. So it's just a higher level. It's just a better membrane. So it's a little bit thicker. But even though it's a little bit thicker, it's very workable and it almost feels like fabric when it's kind of like when you're working with it. In Spain, they use this exact same membrane to line pools with it. So it's really, really like top of the line membrane. So even though like it's going to be cheaper than the Schluter one, if you guys look at PlaceForPros, which is crazy. Also, so if you are getting the roll, this is 108 square foot roll, the trowel comes for free. And that's like a little bundle special for this live. And then if you do the 108 square foot, that should be more than enough for you to do like a full shower with it.
Why are you not live on YouTube?
Huh?
Why are you not live on
I
YouTube?
only have 2 phones. I'm going live on 2 phones right now. I was gonna go live on TikTok. I mean, we have a bunch of followers there, but I think Instagram and Facebook. Instagram, we have like really diehard audience, and then Facebook has the really nice feature for like shopping through it, right, with the link right down below, right there, guys. So if you press that link, it brings you to this little bundle that we have for this session. I mean, Alex is there with 2 phones right now,
Yeah.
with a little tripod. So if we had more, like just like 4 phones, I'm sure there's an app for it, but.
Could set another one up right here.
Look, we're doing more of these. So the goal is to do these lives every 2 weeks. Our next week live is going to be in the same set right here on how to basically do a a linear drain shower pan that's up against the wall, one of those infinity ones, a tileable one, and then like a regular one. So we're gonna do 2 of those in the same training. That's gonna be 2 weeks from now. So make sure you're following PlaceForPros for that so you don't miss it. Let me get scissors real quick.
Are you using 1/8 trowel, and what kind of thin set are you using?
So I'm using this Multi-Max Light. It's my favorite thin set for doing this stuff and just tiling in general. When I do bathrooms, it's really not a crazy amount of square footage for me to try to get the cheapest thin set possible. Obviously, if you're tiling a basement and you need 20 bags, the cost matters. But when I'm tiling a bathroom, really we're looking like 6 to 7 bags. So for me to get premium thin set and spend the extra $100 overall is just a no-brainer, especially when you're doing this. Like, get nice thin set. So this is modified thin set. It has a really high polymer count, so it's very frothy and kind of, you don't want a lot of sand in it when you're doing membrane. And yes, we do have the 1/8" trowel, 8" by 8" trowel. And that's the trowel that comes for free in our little bundle. So for Instagram, if you guys go to the link in the bio, that's the first link at the top. That's going to be our bundle. And then for Facebook, you guys just press it right down below, and that comes for free. So you know you got the right one. You didn't mess it up.
Can you lay this over dry pack versus doing hot mop?
Yes. Just wait for it to dry, obviously, and then put it right over it. It's better than putting on the liquid membranes and trying to make sure you got the right thicknesses and everything like that. And then, yeah, you can definitely lay this right over it. Same process for everything. All right, let's see. Here, I gotta get myself one of those Ruby mixers. Pro tip here for you is when you're mixing your thin set, start off with more of like a slurry like this here, and then get closer. Don't try to get it perfectly on the first time, because if it's a little bit too dry, so right now it's too wet, which is fine. If it's too dry, you end up with little clumps and these little like balls all over in there. It's kind of annoying when you're trying to have really nice combing when you're doing your membrane. Also, if you follow the directions on the back of the thin set, kind of don't. I mean, I know this is probably not going to be a good take on this, but you got to add a little bit of water. This has to be very workable here for when you're installing it. So right now it's a little bit too dry, too wet. I mean, like it's just basically sloppy. So we're going to add just a little bit more here.
Describe the perfect consistency of thin set. I've heard to add Dawn soap to get a good consistency.
Nah, don't do that. That's unnecessary. That's like a thing that you would do, I guess, for your dry or for your mud or something. Hold on, let me. I'll get it perfect and I'll show you. sit for a couple minutes just because it needs to slake. It's part of what you're looking for. But look, when I tip this over and it wants to pour like that, I'm happy with it. Kind of like a lava speed, if that makes sense. So it's pouring, but it's not just pouring out completely. I guess it's like a pancake batter, but it's more like a, not pancake. I guess this would be more like the waffle mix, I guess. But so when you also get it on your trowel and you go like this, it is coming off, but some is staying on there. You don't want to just kind of fall off completely. I did not follow directions. This comes with experience, knowing this consistency. If you mix it by the book, it's just too dry. Whatever they tell you to add here. So if they say add 5.2 to 5.4, that's also like basically your quantity over the entire bag. We should never mix the entire bag at once. So now you got to do some fractions and stuff like that. So it kind of gets a little bit frustrating, but it needs to be able to pour like this. And if you guys, basically when you're installing your uncoupling membrane itself, you ever see those guys on Instagram and stuff, they just kind of take it and pour it out of their bucket? Same thing. So if yours is not really able to do that, like it might be a little bit too dry, you can always add a little bit of water to kind of loosen it up a little bit. So that's the consistency I want. I'm gonna let it sit there for a little bit. You should honestly mix it a little bit longer as well, but I don't want to piss you guys off.
Can you layer Guru membrane over existing Schluter membrane to extend the waterproofing area in a shower?
You're not voiding, but you're not really doubling down on any warranty. I know with Schluter it's like tricky with their warranty and stuff. If you want to extend it out of the shower itself, you can, but like the benefit of using a system, one or the other, is that you're doing it by their like notes or whatever completely. You're taking pictures of all this stuff, you're registering it somewhere, and then you have the lifetime warranty that you can go and then use as part of your sales to your customer. So when you walk into your estimate, you're like, hey, I know we're probably $2,000 more on this entire bill, but what we're offering is lifetime warranty on our install. Our shower will never leak. And then they're like, now they have to make some, I know this guy's $2,000 more than like this lady or whatever it is, like that's what you want to do. So when you're starting to mix both of those together, I mean, we see people using different drains for the Guru shower system. Technically that voids it because they can't sign off on somebody else's drains. Yes, you can overlap it by 2 to 3 inches. I would say 3 to 4, but it does kind of get rid of all the warranties itself anyway, but you can.
What bucket liner are you using? My phone froze again. Not sure what you answered.
The bucket liner, yeah, this is Bucket Saver. That's the one that they sent it to me, so I've been using it. I kind of like it. It doesn't work that well with these high polymer thin sets. Alex has to probably spend 20 minutes scraping it off. But with just regular thin sets and like the grainy thin sets, it comes right out. You just gotta clean them up before you end the day, but that's a Bucket Saver. We gotta try to get them on PlaceForPros. That would be sick.
That would be sick.
Okay, so while that's slaking, means it's sitting there and just doing some chemical stuff, chemical reaction stuff. What we're gonna do is get our sponge. It's gonna be damp, not wet, just damp sponge. And I'm going to kind of go over my drywall like this. The goal is to remove any dust that might be there and then just lightly hydrate it. So Alex, can you see like the water on it?
Yeah, I can see that.
You can see the water, and then like literally within 15 to 20 seconds, that water goes into it. So you're hydrating it. So basically we're giving the our drywall a little bit to drink. So then it's not thirsty when we're putting our thin set on. Because when we put a thin set on, it's such a little level, amount of thin set that it just sucks the moisture out of it and then it becomes it dries faster. So again, for me, I want to prolong and get as much work life as possible out of this so I can do one piece at a time. So we're going to give it a little bit of water so that it's not thirsty for when we're putting our membrane over it.
Where's the location of your business?
We're in Lakes Region, New Hampshire. New Hampshire, like 2 hours north of Boston. we're taking on work right now if you guys are interested, but that's for another day. So we did this sheet right here. You see it's already like absorbing into it. Let me get a ladder because I'm not that tall. Right here. But right now, anybody who's tuning in a little bit late, what this is a PlaceForPros live training. We're doing these every about 2 weeks on different topics. Today's topic is how to install waterproof membrane. If you guys have trainings that you want me to do live like this is not one of those fast, aggressive trainings. We're taking our time with it. We want to be thorough. If you want to, if there's a training that you wish we would do, definitely email PlaceForPros and we'll set it up. And if we have to get some other creators on here who are better at whatever it is, then we'll get them on. But so PlaceForPros is basically we're doing this training. Right now we do have a bundle that's special for this training. When you get the 108 square foot roll of this membrane that we're about to install, right here, you get the trowel for free as part of the bundle, because this is a trowel you need to install this membrane on here. So definitely check it out on Instagram. Basically just go to the link in my bio, and that's the first link right at the top. And then for Facebook, it should be the link right at the bottom there for it. All right.
Would you do that hydrating thing with OSB and plywood?
Absolutely. Like, first, you have to make sure that it's not dusty, because nothing sticks to dust. Even if you, let's say, if you have a dusty floor with like compound dust and you just pour a bucket of like cement over it, you come back the next day and you just scrape it off with a putty knife because it has that little layer over it. So one, you're scraping off, you're taking off any dust that might be on there, and then you're giving it a little bit of that moisture to kind of prolong the life of this thin set here. All right, so we got our first mix. We waited a couple minutes. We hydrated this. I mean, look, it's almost dry. Imagine if this was your thin set. It's been 2 minutes. Imagine that being on the back of your thin set and just absorbing some of that moisture. This was a real install here, I would actually do the requirements on the back and mix it longer. Basically what they have in directions there is to prolong the life of the thin set. Because if I didn't mix it again for the time that it was required, it just dries faster because that chemical reaction just goes. Because I think what happens, and don't quote me because I have no idea, but I think what happens is like you mix it once, you start that chemical reaction, and then like you wait to slake. Then you mix it again, and then it almost like resets it somehow. I don't know, but like it's important to let it slake, mix it again. Question.
Do you need to apply caulk, silicone, and or tape over the screw holes before applying membrane?
No. So you don't have to do anything over this. Especially don't do it in these corners. So what will happen if this is stronger than any fiberglass or paper tape or anything out there. This is whatever, 1 billion times stronger than those. So when you overlap that in your corner, that corner is very strong. But what will happen is if you're mudding and you're putting some mud onto here, you're building out that corner a little bit. Now when you're overlapping this, you're building it out a little bit more. So then when you go to tile, especially if you use that subway tile, now those corners are a little bit built up. So you don't want to do it. So inside your shower, you really don't have to do anything. There's no need to go over your screws. You should be having more screws. This is just a set for us. You should have more screws, but you don't have to put anything over the screws. You don't have to put anything over the banding itself. If you do want to do the butt joints, if you have like not butt joints, whatever, the main joints, do it only if you have like subway tile. So just fill them in. You don't even have to put tape there or anything if you want to put tape or whatever, but just fill it in so that it kind of is more of a flatter surface for subway tile. But if it's like larger 12 by 24, you don't have to do it. All right, I'm just talking too much here. All right, here's a cool trick for when you're installing this membrane, and this is all props to Jose from JC Tile. And basically, if you're using your trowel, typically you'll take it and you'll go like this, put it on, and it kind of does some of this stuff. and then it's sloppy. So then you're trying to basically like kind of throw it onto it, and it just becomes a little bit more of a mess. The trick that he showed me is you get one of these scoop trowels right here. You're going to go scoop in there, transfer it to your trowel, and look how nicely it's sitting there, like a little pillow. Just sits there so nice. And then you come in here, and then put it on there. Boom. So cool. I just learned this about a year ago, and it's changed my life. I'm a new man since I've discovered it. I'm a cleaner person. But look how nice. Not a single drop on our floor, and we already did almost like the bottom row here. It's just this is how they install stucco as well. That's how like I think he knew it. But once he showed it to me, it blew my mind.
When installing tile over subfloor, do you need to add a second sheet of plywood, or is the uncoupling membrane enough?
The uncoupling membrane's enough. Yo, cool thing about PlaceForPros, and it's the only place out there, is that this uncoupling membrane, we sell it in different sizes. I believe there's a 35 square foot size, which is just enough for when you're doing those 5x8s, because if you go to Lowe's and you get the Schluter uncoupling membrane, it's 50 square foot, you're basically throwing half of it out. So we made a cheaper, smaller roll, so then you don't have a lot of waste. And then there's, I believe, like a different size there as well, so you don't have to find these huge sizes. But it's only available at PlaceForPros because we cut it ourselves for you. All right, so we're putting this on. I'm not doing anything else, like I'm not trying to trowel it out now. I'm just putting it on, put the material on there for you to work with. All right, so go like this. And then I'm gonna go all the way up here. Do not fall. Look how clean we are, guys. If you're not rushing and you're using some of these methods, super clean. Nice clean install. It tells a lot about you as an installer, how dirty you are and stuff. Sorry, Steve. If you know, you know. Alright, so I'm going to add a little bit more because I feel like I'm going to be a little bit short over here with it. Now what I want to do is kind of, it's called burning it in. So I'm going to take the flat side of the trowel and just kind of spread it out to make sure that I'm really pushing that thin set into our sheetrock here to make sure it's really, really covering it nicely. There's no rhyme or reason to it or method of like, just cover it up basically. Make sure every part of it is kind of covered. So it's called burning it in. It's kind of like back buttering it, I guess. See, when I'm at the bottom here, I'm angling it up so that that thin set is getting pushed up and my axis comes out of the top. If I do it the other way and angle it down, all that stuff would just kind of like poop out of the bottom here. What the hell? No. How dare you? These are my airplane shoes. No, seriously. Go shut out Timberland.
Are you laying guru on the corner and cut piece on the outside for both?
I think I'm gonna overlap it. I pre-cut 3 pieces, so I should be okay. I'm just gonna overlap the corner with the membrane. Alright, so we're kind of burning this in here. I guess while I have the ladder, I'll probably start troweling from here as well. If you guys have any questions, Alex is on the phones there. We are doing a bundle here, special for anybody tuning in a little bit late. It's the Guru Shower System 108 square foot roll. The trowel comes free. Basically, it's the trowel that you need to install this. All right, so we kind of burned it in. It looks like 90% in there. What I'm gonna do now while I'm here on the ladder is I'm going to actually start troweling this thing out. Which for us, we are looking for directional troweling. What I do is like, let's make sure we have good coverage everywhere here.
Question, we don't need purple or green board, just straight over regular drywall?
You could go straight over the regular drywall. It follows all of the Guru all of the Guru warranties. And the logic, and basically it doesn't matter what you put on there, behind there, because the water is on this side. If the water is getting back there, you could have green board, purple board. Those are not waterproof boards anyway. They're moisture resistant, so basically steam and things like that. But this membrane is steam shower ready, so I would definitely put moisture resistant on your ceiling, but it doesn't really have to be, why are you laughing?
Oh, because you just made a mess.
Oh, jeez. Hey, you guys distracting me with all these questions. Nah, legit. All right, so see, like, you can apply it any way you want it to kind of just spread it out to see that you have kind of good coverage everywhere, right? So the whatever directional troweling doesn't really matter, like right here in the beginning. What you want to make sure is that you're just basically having good coverage, okay? We're gonna come to here, we're gonna store that thinset right there, and then I'm gonna come to the top, and then I'm going to give it directional troweling side to side. And I always do it side to side. See that? Look, I'm also, again, like I was saying before, I'm angling it up a little bit so I don't have as much of that kind of access at the bottom there.
Can you use mastic to install membrane?
Don't. No, you're not allowed to. I don't know why, but don't just use thinset. Mastic is glue. It just seems like it would be a pain in the butt. So.
How long do you have to put the paper on before the thin set isn't workable?
I'd give it 5 minutes. I mean, it's probably a little bit more, especially if you have good thin set, and if you did all the stuff that we were talking about before with hydrating it. If you did all that stuff beforehand, you'll be okay with 5 minutes. I have a little bit too much here. Someone get carried away.
Is 8 inches good enough for overlapping, and is back butter necessary for Guru?
8 inches?
Yes.
8 inches is huge. You only have to go 3 or 4 inches. I usually just go like whatever they have. There's black line there. And back buttering what? Membrane? That's a little bit confusing question. We're going to do a peel out test here. We're going to pull the back of this membrane off and show it to you guys. It's a little droopy. Yeah, we'll do a little test here. Proof. Okay, so just get rid of the extra. Have it really nice. And if you're a little bit late and this took a little bit longer for you to get to the bottom because you had a little bit extra thin set or whatever, all you have to do, hold on. So obviously just, if you're a little bit late here and you feel like the thin set at the top is getting a little bit dry, just all you have to do is just come back in here and just wake it up. So wake up. We'll go over it again. We're basically just turning it over.
What brand of thin set do you use personally?
I use Ladder Creek Multimax Slight, especially when I'm doing these membranes. I want to make sure that I have really nice quality thin set. And this stuff is just so stupid sticky that it's pretty fail-proof here. All right, see, so I just woke it up. It's ready to go. We're not gonna waste any time. We're gonna come over here and then just drop it right there. I'm going to, get out of there. I'm gonna put it right on that corner there and just tack it on. I'm not like pushing it on yet. I wanna make sure I line it up first. So I'm gonna line it up with this outside edge. I know it's nice and straight here. If you're using it kind of like in the middle, sometimes I'll throw a laser on it. It's just better installing it when it's all nice and straight. So now we have this corner lined up. I'm just basically collapsing, like getting the air out of there. we got this side, then I'm gonna go in the middle, and then work my middle out, get those bubbles out of there. It's nice to use your hands for this. This doesn't burn you or anything, but just to kind of work those bubbles out right here. But we're gonna move over to our 10-inch putty knife. The 10-inch and the 6-inch putty knife is all you need for this. All right, so because we did our trowel this way, for the air to move out, what we wanna do is start out of the center. So now that I go like this is completely flat in the center. I'm gonna go like this, all the way down, all the way down, all the way up. It's 100% flat. We have no bubbles there or anything. All of our bubbles, hey, there's a little bubble here. Oh yeah. Get that bubble out of there. So there's no bubbles in the middle here or anything. All the bubbles are out here. So now because we did our troweling sideways, you have these little channels for the air to escape. So all you're doing now is going like this. That's it. And it only has to go about a foot or like 16 inches off to the side. Like that. Super easy. And the big thing here is what people make a mistake is they press on it so hard that they're squeezing the thin set out. The thin set is the layer that's supposed to glue it there. So if you're pushing really hard and you're seeing a lot of that thin set come out, don't. Like the purpose of this is to get the air out of it. Obviously a little bit of thin set will come out, but you're getting air out of it. I'm not pushing hard, I'm firm. I'm gonna keep it clean, so I just have a sponge with you. I'm firm, but I'm not like aggressively pushing. I mean, like if you look there, we have a little bit of thin set at the end here, but it's not very hard. Right there. And we're just pushing all of that out to the side. Here.
Pro tip, sand the corners off of that taping knife.
A what?
Pro tip, sand the corner off of that taping knife.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, mine are pretty worn out here. That's a good idea, so you don't cut it. But these membranes are pretty strong. So we're gonna go here. I'm just gonna finish that off. On this side. Oh no. Dirty. I want this to be clean. Alright? So this side is ready for us, and then at the end, I can kind of go like this to kind of close it out and get the rest of that thin set out of there. Okay, and then we still got to do this side, right? So now we're just going to move again from the center. You do the center, and then you move it out. And I'm also kind of angling my knife to kind of keep forcing that air that way. And then once we're here, I'm getting closer like this. I like to keep my work nice and clean, so I'm not going, here, I'll just come over to here. So I'm not going like I'm basically leaving like 1/2 inch to 1/4 inch little space there, just because I want everything to be nice and clean, like that. And then at the end you can go like this, because this area will get overlapped anyway.
Looks good.
Okay, so this sheet technically is 100% done. You can just kind of go over it, make sure it's all good. You can run your hand through it to see if you find, oh, I found the bubble. Look at that. I found the bubble. I'm going to work it out. You see that? Bang, a little bubble. You run your hand through it to see if you can find some bubbles. You guys want to see the peel away test? One person. Yes, do it. Peel away test. Peel away. Whatever. All right. One person. Somebody, no?
No, nothing so far.
How many people are watching this?
All right, we got one yes.
Okay, let's go. We're doing a peel away test. All right, let's see how this looks on the back. You want to make sure that this membrane is nice and white. And look at that. That's perfect. I mean, this is whatever. Don't worry about that. Like, that's still perfect. That will pass anything you need. This is good. I'm really, really happy with that, especially under the circumstances of extreme pressure of doing this live in front of 12 people.
I got 115 on Insta.
Oh, let's go Insta. Insta in the house. I should have done it on Threads. Alright. How many on Facebook?
57.
Nice. Alright, so that's our first sheet. It's here. I'm just gonna clean this up. Adrian. Alright. That's all cleaned up. Okay, so that first sheet is there. Now what we want to do is go ahead and start working on this one. So again, I'm just going to, hold on, before I, this is a little distraction drip that I had there.
Would you mix your thin set different for humid climates like Florida?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know what the experience. You just gotta. It's one of those things. It's like do the peel away test. If it's white and white, gray, whatever. If you see that transfer, you did it fine. So do the peel away test, and you'll kind of figure out your ratio a little bit. But I don't think maybe add a little bit more of water. But I don't think so because you're working pretty like. That's why I like to do one sheet at a time. I mean, this took what, like 10 minutes? No, how long have you been live?
Almost an hour.
Almost an hour. Okay, but that's a lot of talk in the beginning. But this was probably like a 30-minute install. This will be another 30-minute. And then if you're continuing, this is like a 2-hour install max. But we're doing a live. We're talking. We're having fun, right? Somebody's got to be having fun. But I don't know if you should mix it differently. I honestly have no idea. Just do the test. Pull it away. It doesn't look good. And also, like guys, especially like who are just kind of starting out in this, do the peel away test. If you're seeing it's 50% coverage or even less, take the whole thing off. Like you can always reset one of these sheets. They're really not that expensive. You can reset it. It's better than the freaking sheet of the wall coming off 2 years down the road. Take it off, remix your thin set. Maybe get a different thin set if it sucks. But don't be like, I know sometimes like you could get like that little panic mode of like, oh my God, this is wrong. This is blah, 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 blah. Take it off, reset. You could probably flip this upside down and just wipe it if you want to save it. Take it off, reset your thin set. Don't just like, well, it is what it is. Just don't do that.
At what point is this ready to tile?
So with Guru waterproof membrane, you could start tiling immediately. So you could start tiling right away. What they do say though, is if you are going to wait 3 or 4 hours, then wait till the next day. Because what happens, you know how thin set gets into that little like middle stage where it's kind of like not cured yet, but it's not wet anymore, and you pull off a piece of tile or something, and you can just scrape it off. So that it gets into that stage, that's when you don't want to be tiling. But if you're going right away over it, it's cool. Like they're fine with it. So you could start tiling right away on it.
What would be the cost for that kit to go from a tub to shower? Thanks.
If you're basically tub to shower with the Guru shower system, I don't know other platforms, but on PlaceForPros with the Guru shower system, you're looking at like less than $600 or just about $600 for a foam pan. So the pan that's already hard, like you don't have to do any mud job. It comes with the curbs and it comes with all the membrane, comes with the drain, all the corners, everything you need to basically do the tub to shower conversion. It's like $600. PlaceForPros. That's what that would cost, which is crazy because it does have the pan itself. And you guys saw the video of me driving, well, not me, but of that person driving a forklift over those pans. They're the best shower pans out there, in my opinion. And I am biased, but I definitely believe it.
You have driven your truck over it before.
Yeah, I mean, but a forklift, guys?
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
An electric forklift, which is super heavy. Electric forklift with a back tire and everything over it, and not a single crack or a dent over it. It's just fun, like it's crazy. So PlaceForPros is where you can get them. Also, anybody tuning in, sorry that I keep it, but this is part of the shtick that we're doing here. PlaceForPros right now we're doing promotion when you're buying the 108 square foot roll of the membrane. You get the trowel that it comes with to install it for free. For Instagram, go link in my bio. That's the top link right over there. Facebook, press the link right below. You should be able to get it right away. Same thing for those super kits that you're going to be looking for. They're like $600 at PlaceForPros to get that. And what's crazy is they stock, like PlaceForPros, we stock all of this stuff. You order it Monday, it's there like Thursday, or by the end of the week you have it. So it's not that it's crazy like wait time that you get with some of these other places. All right, I'm gonna do something a little different here. I'm actually just gonna go and burn this in first. So I'm gonna back butter this entire thing first, just so then I don't have to have so much stuff dripping.
Can you put the membrane directly over masonry walls?
Yes. Yes. This, like, if you're trying to waterproof your basement, you could use this membrane as well. I don't think they waterproof pools with this in Spain. This exact same membrane. They waterproof pools with it, so there's absolutely no reason you couldn't do like a foundation wall or something like that. I'm actually considering doing it, but I don't know if I might just paint it on. So right now what we're doing here is we're burning this in. Basically, imagine like this drywall has these little like tiny little cavities, little furry little cavities right through it. We're just sticking the thinset right into it and pressing it in to make sure that we're having really good bond with it. Wiping it down with a sponge, extremely important because that wipes off any dust that we might have it, and it gives this thin drywall a little bit of that moisture that you want in order to kind of hydrate it so it doesn't suck the moisture out of like this thing, out of your thin set.
Can it go over painted drywall?
Oh, I wouldn't suggest that because it's sticking then just to the paint. So I wouldn't suggest that. Honestly, just rip the drywall off and put some new drywall over it, or just put some drywall over it itself. I would not suggest that. I don't know if they have some information on this, but this sounds sketchy as fuck.
What adhesive / thinset are you using?
I'm using Latacrete Multi-Max Lite. To me, this is the best thinset for membrane installs. I know it's expensive, it's like 60 or 70 bucks, but whatever, it's part of your construction cost. Just get the good thinset, and you won't regret it. If you try to, like, sometimes we'll go do trainings, like Guru will fly me out to do training sometimes, and like then the store's like, oh, the store will be like, oh, we got this thin set, and it's like a $15 thin set, and then it's so awful to work with. If you have a lot of that sand particles in it, that is not a good thin set for your membrane. The polymer thin sets that are a little more like smooth and kind of frothy like this, those thin sets do so much better. All set is kind of a mix of both. You could use all set for the Guru membrane as well.
Would Latacrete 317 work? And they want to see the bag.
Here's the bag. Take a screenshot of this. I literally use this for everything because it kind of covers. It's the nicest thin set that I think you can get from Latacrete, and it's good for large tile, small tile, membranes, everything. So I kind of never educated myself in the whole thin set game because that thing kind of covered all of it. I mean, it's expensive. It's like 70 bucks. I mean, obviously I can get it at like cheaper for like $45 because we have like the whatever account. But when you're doing a bathroom, we're talking like 6 or 7, like 6 bags. So like you're probably spending 150, 200 bucks more on the entire bathroom that could cost somebody $20,000. I don't think it's something you should cheap out on. Obviously, if you're doing like a massive basement or something, you might want to like then play that game. But for something like this, especially membranes, when you're doing your membranes, just use some nice stuff.
Is there a rule with modified / unmodified for Guru as there is for Schluter membranes?
Guru says use modified thinset everywhere. So if you're going to use modified thin set, use it. You can go underneath it and over it as well. So they don't make that very vague like the other brand that you just said. And then if you are using the all set thin set, you could put it underneath the membrane and over the top of the membrane, and it's a lifetime warranty on that thin set on both sides, because it is nice thin set.
For a foundation, you use it from the outside so as to not trap water in your concrete?
Yeah. I mean, if you gotta put it, if you have the access to it, you might as well keep it out, you know? It's like, imagine wearing a jacket where all the waterproofing on the jacket is like on an inside liner or something. I don't know. Maybe that's a bad example. Oh, not today. So what are you trying to do there? All sneaky. So see, I'm using, it's the best $12 you can spend is just go and get one of these little scoop trowels. We're going to scoop this up, transfer it over to our trowel like this, and then we're just going to put it on, and it just comes on so easy. Look how easy this was, and absolutely nothing on the ground here in terms of a mess. I try to keep the job as clean as possible. Just because if it looks clean, there's no questions. If the homeowner comes in and it's a disaster, they're like, what the hell is going on over here? Okay. Now we're going to trowel this out. So at first, it really doesn't matter. I'm just going to basically make a nice even layer everywhere of this thin set. So the trowel lines here really don't matter right now. Oh, and I tell you, see what you're trying to do there. Again, guys, this is a PlaceForPros live training. We're going to be doing one of these about every 2 weeks. Our next training is going to be how to install waterproof, how to install linear drain shower pan. The last one we just did was how to miter tile. And the goal with PlaceForPros is to just educate our shoppers on like all of this stuff. We could probably charge for it or make a weird membership wall behind it, but I don't think so. I wanted to make sure that we just do this, and then I think people will just kind of appreciate it, and then they'll use the platform just because we're trying to give back in a way and do this at no weird like costs or anything. So if you guys are getting Hoover shower system, Ruby tools, Promies, High Specs, Unilite, any of those cool brands, we already have that on PlaceForPros.
What size pipe is in the drain for the kit? 2 inch?
2 inch pipe.
Is it adjustable?
Is it adjustable pipe? I mean, if it's 1.5 inches, you just have to get a bushing for it to reduce it. But it's, oh my God. It's a 2 inch pipe. It's standard. That's what they all are. All the systems are 2 inch. Because you can always go smaller, much easier versus going bigger. Plus, I think it's like recommended. But I mean, if you're gonna have to replumb half of your house to go to 2 inch pipe, don't do it. You'll be all right. So anybody tuning in late,
Why does grout come out this color?
could be mixed bad, could be crappy grout, I don't know. So for anybody tuning in late, we do have a bundle deal right now for this. Basically, the membrane here, 108 square foot roll membrane, which is fine for like a full shower. And if you buy it, then this trowel that you need for it comes with it. Alex, am I showing a butt crack right now or no?
No.
Cool. I feel like I'm on the cusp of showing the crack.
Starting OF.
Huh?
Starting OF. OnlyFans.
Yeah.
How would you go about pricing it?
Pricing what? This? Like pricing out what? Let's do this thing. I like this question. Okay. Alright, so obviously we don't have directional troweling just yet. I'm going to kind of wake up this area because this has been a minute here. So we're gonna go over this again. Do they say pricing what?
Not yet.
Alright. I'm assuming it's the system.
Oh, pricing out the process installing the membrane.
I mean, the time. I mean, it would take me with Alex to install this guru shower system completely. I mean, we're probably looking at like 3 to 4 hours. So price out hourly. I mean, if you're not doing this, you got to be doing Red Guard or Aqua Defense or whatever. That's going to take time to do a couple of coats of that stuff. So it's just all hourly stuff. Like figure out how long it takes, right? And whatever you charge an hour. It's pretty simple.
Which is better, horizontal or vertical installation?
I think vertical is a little bit easier. Horizontal is cool for the first row, but like once you're doing the second row, you need like a buddy to help you hold it up, and then it becomes a 2-man or a 2-person install, which I think that kind of is a little bit inefficient. But also, so like when you're pricing this out, this has to be worked into your proposals. I mean, you are now passing on, when you're buying this guru shower system at PlaceForPros, you are now passing on a lifetime warranty to your homeowners. And I know all of these, like you'll say like, well, everybody does it. Well, great. I mean, they do it, but you have to like be a salesperson and say like, yo, my work, like I've got lifetime warranty on it, blah, blah, blah. Because then you're gonna get a hack that comes in behind you. It's gonna be cheaper than you. They won't offer this. And then the owner's gonna have to say like, damn, would I rather pay an extra $1,000 but have a warranty on this shower that I'm spending $15,000, $20,000 on? Or do I wanna go with like, whatever, the cheapest bid and not price it? And they always choose the higher price with warranty. It's like driving a car. Would you just buy a car without insurance? Probably not. So you have to work it in. You have to be a little bit of a salesperson, you know? Like we on our contracts, we have a massive, like just like type 72 lifetime warranty on it, just to kind of really drive that in for homeowners. Because they have no idea. They have no idea that you're supposed to even do this stuff. Most of the homeowners don't and shouldn't know this because it's not their job. But that's the way to kind of make more money for doing the same work, just smarter. Because either way, you have to waterproof it. Might as well waterproof it this way, sell it, and now you could be making, let's say, $1,000 probably more on the whole job just because you sold the warranty.
Are your live videos saved so someone can watch later?
Yes, this will be posted on Facebook and on Instagram. All right, so here, I'm gonna drop this. You see this black line right here? That is the recommended overlap that you need to have. So what I'm gonna do is just get my corner right on that black line, and then just kind of follow it right here. Throw it there, and just lightly push this on. I'm not going hard, I just don't want this to fall down. I want to make sure I'm right on that line first before I commit to this side. And that's why it was important to kind of make all this stuff level, or plumb, whatever. So I'm going to go here.
Why are you not using the roller instead of trowel?
Honestly, the roller kind of gets messy and it's a big cleanup. If I'm doing a lot, the roller it gets a little bit messy. It kind of sprays all over. And like, if I just use a trowel, I'll use a roller. But when Jose showed me that scoop trowel trick, my life has changed. All right. So now I'm gonna just kind of get this corner nice and tight here. And that's what's nice also when you're not taping your corners, is you have a little bit of that room there with your sheetrock. I mean, if I'm installing the sheetrock, I would even say leave like a 16th inch gap there, just in case something's uneven and you gotta able to tuck it in just a little bit to make everything flat. You have that option.
Want to ask if you stuck ready corners one over another, in what order would you do it? Like for instance, if there's a niche having a shelf made out of weedy 50 mil thick.
Yeah, so you would be doing the outside corner first, and then the inside corner to overlap it. Either way though, those systems are meant to be dry, and once they're dry, like nothing should be passing through them anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but logically it makes sense to do one way and then the other. Alright, so now here, I'm going to just collapse these ridges. Here, I'm putting my pressure kind of on this corner here on the outside. You see what I'm doing here? We're putting our pressure here. Like that. Have a little bit of that ooze out. And then we'll get back to finishing this up. So now here, I'm going to just, I need a second trowel. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to hold this corner so it doesn't drag with me. And then out of here, I'm just going to kind of pull the air out of there and pull this membrane. Because then look how nice and sharp of a corner we have here. Bring it in. Show them the freaking corner. Look at my corner, guys. Damn, this is like 2 hours of talking non-stop. I feel like a pastor. All right.
I'm applying a color called Urban Putty, which
Yes.
is like a green-brown, and it comes out white. I followed the mixing directions and it still comes out white. Can you give me any advice?
I have no idea. No. I hate to give you advice that makes no sense, and I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. There's gotta be like a support thing somewhere. Alright, so I'm holding my corner here, dragging it away. And I'm just kind of making sure that the air is out of there, right?
How much time do we have from thin set to sticking the membrane?
I would say like 5 to 7 minutes, but that's why I like to get your thin set up. If you watch my freaking live, like get the thin set up there, however, whatever, like just get it up there, like with the right depth already, right? If you have some excess of it, get rid of it, like into the bucket, get it on there. And then right when you're ready, you saw that at the end, I just got nice straight lines, and then I put it on. So literally between me finishing that and me putting it on, it's like a minute. So put it on there while you're working it, and then just wake it up by putting nice straight lines on it before you're done with it. All right, now I'm gonna kind of make sure this corner is nice here. There we go. Get all the air out of there. And again, one of the mistakes that people make is that they squeeze all the thin set out. I'm just focusing on squeezing the air out and just pushing this up against the thin set itself. So you see, I'm not going like this, like flat and just squeezing everything out. I'm a little flatter, firm, and kind of slow, and we're getting the air out of there. Because we need the thin set there to glue the freaking thing on. I'll show an example here at the end of what it looks like when you don't, like when you squeeze too much of it out. But hold on. So we're gonna finish. I kind of gotta move here a little bit because we have this thin set chilling over there.
What if you cut the membrane at this stage?
So I'll show you at the end. If you made a mistake or whatever, I'll show you at the end.
Doesn't Guru have patches?
No.
Oh.
They don't. All right, so we want to make sure that this transition here is nice. I mean, this right here is ready. So it's kind of uneven here because I think this is uneven. That's why I like to start with the laser. I use laser so much.
Can you float?
No, I don't know how to do that. I'd love to try it. And honestly, I think I'm too thick. I don't think I'm buoyant enough. I feel like if I'm in the Red Sea, I would float pretty well. But I don't think I can. I think if I just breathe in a lot, I can float. Alright, I'm gonna keep this nice and clean. Not a good swimmer. I live near a lake, but I'm really not a good swimmer. I know what I'm talking about. Did I say anything about that?
Not yet.
Alright, so I'm gonna get this band here. That looks sloppy. Oh, Misha. Alright.
I missed some part. How much did you overlap?
It's this black line. You see this black line? So here we ended right there, with this sheet ended there, and then we just overlapped it like that. And you're just supposed to overlap this black line.
Like hanging wallpaper, only easier.
I know. No, I don't know how to float. I think I could probably figure it out. I see people doing it online, like California people do it a lot. I don't get it. But
Floating cost extra.
I'm sure. I mean, it seemed like a huge process because you got to do like a scratch coat first and then float over it. I don't know. Nobody's ever made me do it, and like as a customer, and I won't. Like I don't see the need for it. All right. See, so I got all the thin set out from there.
Are you a plumber?
Am I a plumber? No, but I love plumbing, especially like right now at my house. I have the opportunity to do plumbing because you can do plumbing on your own house. So I'm really running with it because I really enjoy it. But when we're on our job site, we have plumbers who come and do that stuff. Alright, so now before I'm ready to install my last sheet, this is what we were saying. This is kind of, I mean, it's still sticky. If you touch it, it's sticky. I'm committed to it. So we really don't have to do this, but what I'm going to do is just kind of reset the whole thing here. Just starting from the top and just kind of turn all that over a little bit.
Waking it up.
Waking it up. Wake up, you thin set.
Isn't it more logical to install the bottom membrane first and then overlay it with wall membrane?
With rolled one. We're just doing a tutorial here on how to do just membrane install in general. Logically, it could make sense, but realistically, based on their warranty, you could install the walls first and then the pan, or you could install the pan and then the walls. They really don't care. I like to do, personally, I like to do the walls first and then the pan, just because then I'm not working on the pan like the whole time. Even though it's heavy duty and stuff, I still like to have it nice and clean. So I kind of do the walls, the pan, and then the curb on the way out. That's just my process, but either way it works. All right. Last one. So I'm overlapping this black line here. I'm just gonna kind of line that up with it.
Thank you for teaching and sharing.
Well, let me grab the box cutter real quick. Bang, it was right there. That box.
You're welcome. Always gotta think ahead.
Okay, so we got this black line. I'm gonna line up right on there. There. Go over here. We do have a bunch of extra. I'm gonna cool with it. So, and you can start at the top.
Are you from or live in New Hampshire?
I live in New Hampshire. Yes, Lake Winnipesaukee. That's where Winnie comes from. All right, so we're gonna just cut this off nicely with a box cutter. Just so it's easier for us to work with this.
Installing a niche, what's the process with the membrane?
Frame it out, do all the backer board stuff you gotta do. Whatever you're gonna be using, if it's drywall, cement board, whatever, and then you do the membrane. I basically do all the walls, so you can cut it out where it kind of looks like this. So you have one of these kind of squares that looks like this. So just do some tape measure math, right? And then this will kind of go like that, so it will fold on all of these. And then all you need is just corners. So basically once you measure out the back, I'm missing one. Once you measure out like the back, the sides, and the overlap, you kind of ending up with this weird shape, and then you just gotta add corners to it. Hold on, we forgot something here on this side. So here, I forgot this. I'm gonna squeeze out all the air here and get close. See, see how I'm holding it? I'm angling it out, so the air is getting squeezed out this way. There, and then I'm going to get my measurement.
This is for that niche question. Same overlap with about 3 to 4 inches.
Yes. Yeah.
Can the curb be cut down like Schluter's curb?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, it can. So here, look, I'm going like this, and then just collecting this. I like to keep this super clean here. So we're just kind of gonna go like that. How clean that looks. Dang.
Your attention to details is exemplary, and I have rarely seen any contractor with that fine attention to details and clean workflow. Keep up the awesome work, Misha and Alex.
Yo, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. Honestly, I think that it comes with me having to post online about it, and I want to, like, I'm representing this brand. Plus, it feels good to have like a clean look. Like, this looks legit, and I'm happy how this looks. And like when I have to post for them, like it kind of looks bad if it's just like a sloppy goo all over the place. So as a brand who's like sponsoring the channel and stuff, like it's not a good look for it to be like messy. Plus it just, I don't know, I enjoy figuring it out. All right, so we're doing the center first. Like we said, collapsing all the ridges here, like that. And then I'm gonna angle it out. We're getting that air out of there.
What's the best membrane of all?
Yo, I would say this membrane, especially the price. So get this, this membrane is cheaper than the Schluter membrane. It's cheaper than the Latticrete membrane, and it's rated at a higher level than Schluter's membrane. So it's already rated for steam showers. So it is just a better quality membrane itself. I think it's this. Plus it's got that the fabric on both sides. So it's very sticky. It takes thinset really well. So I think it's this. I mean, obviously I'm biased, but that's me. But so again, guys, before we finish up over here, what I want to say, like we're doing the special where like we're selling the 108 square foot roll of the membrane, and the trowel comes for free in that package, in that bundle, whatever. So if you look on Facebook, that's the link right down below. And then if you look on Instagram, in my link in bio, that's where you can find that. And I think that deal is live for the rest of the week. And then that's done. Next training. So if there's a question on something that like you just would love to see a training on, if you would love to see a training on, make sure that you DM PlaceForPros or send them an email, and we can set it up. Because obviously we want to do the trainings that you guys want to see. So right now we're just kind of like, all right, maybe this will be one. But if you guys actually tell us what we should do a training on, we'll do it. Because it doesn't matter. We still want to do the training. So we'd rather do the training that you want.
You guys should make a bucket stand to minimize bending over and make faster installs.
Oh, what? Buckets?
Bucket stand.
Bucket stand.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a good idea.
We should also come out with our own bucket liners. So.
Bucket liner, we should. See, now we're just gonna wipe this down. Okay. We're good here again. So that's a 48 by 48. That's just 2 pieces of drywall shower. And we're like a third of the bag into that thin set there. So you're easily doing a 36 by 60 shower with 1 bag of that thin set, and it's enough to install the pan as well. That's why just splurge and get yourself the more expensive thin set, because all this stuff is easier to do it.
What thin set are you using?
So I'm using Latticrete Multi-Max Light. I just like how sticky it is. It has a lot of polymers in it. and it's just a higher end thin set. When you're doing membrane like this, it's important to get good thin set. Don't cheap out. Sometimes we go to these trainings that I gotta do, and like the store will hand me a cheap thin set, and then I know that my day's about to suck because it just doesn't stick as well to it. You want something that's just a sticky thin set. I don't know. And this one here, I mean, you can take a picture of the bag, take a screenshot of the screen, whatever. It's this one. It's really nice.
Where can I get that grout bucket in Spudge Ringer?
Grout bucket.
Yeah, the ruby one.
Oh, they're kind of out of stock right now in the entire country. PlaceForPros has it. You can email them and they'll try to get it for you, but they have to like special order it because it's kind of out of stock everywhere. This is cool. I mean, we have 3 of them, so we use them all the time. See, so when you're pushing this out here, the trick is to be firm, but not aggressive where you're squeezing out the thin set. Oh no! Like you need the thin set there to glue it, to glue everything down. Because if you're just gonna go ahead and squeeze everything out, then there's nothing there to hold it. So let me show you an example of that. So basically, let's make a line here. I'll make a line here. This is my regular install here. I'm gonna clean this up. I'm gonna clean this up at the bottom here. This is my regular install. This might still work. But what I see sometimes is people will come in here and they'll go like this, and they'll squeeze out all of that thin set to make it super, super flat, right? But all of the thin set that's there is there to actually do a job of basically gluing it in. So I'll see people just squeeze the crap out of that thing, push on it super hard, right? So they'll come in here and just squeeze it all out. And then let's see if it looks different. I mean, this is nice thin set, so it still might work. But if you're doing this with those like sandy thin sets, forget about it. You almost have to do it with a quarter-inch trowel to make that like look somewhat legit. Alright, so I'm gonna pull this back. Look at this. Hey, it worked.
Wow.
It worked that it didn't work. So look at this, how like little it is, and then compare that to that. Look at that, right? Versus this. This is what I'm talking about when you're squeezing too hard. That's not the point. The point is to get all the air out. So that's why when I'm pushing this, that was nice, that worked. I was like, please work, I've never done that. All right, so the goal is to get the air out and make it nice and flat, but it's not to squeeze the glue out. It's like making peanut butter and jelly, but squeezing out all the jelly or the peanut butter, and you just left with 2 pieces of bread. So that's a thing for you. And then that also gives you more work time and all this stuff. All right. So how long was that live?
We're at 5:34.
5:34. So an hour and a half. So in about an hour and a half, we did all the walls for a 48 by 48 inch shower. And I did a bunch of talking and laying things out and showing you guys things. And I did it by myself without a helper, things like that. For you as a professional installer, 1 hour, this easy should be 1 hour. Then when you're putting in the Guru shower pan as well, you're looking at like maximum 3 hour install for the entire thing. That's why they're super efficient and you don't have to do any of the mud jobs and things like that. So again, this was a PlaceForPros live training that we're gonna try to do every 2 weeks. The next one is going to be linear drain training in about 2 weeks. That PlaceForPros is basically helping us do. What I ask for you guys is if you are buying the Guru shower system, definitely check out PlaceForPros. It's the best prices out there on it. We stock it, fast shipping. And for this live, we did a bundle where for the 108 square foot roll of it, you get the trowel for free. Yo, that's a lot of talking.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of talking. My throat hurts.
Can you watch these trainings later?
Yes, you can. I'll post them. So it'll go to Instagram and it will go to Facebook as well. So if you guys want to get the bundle, by the way, Instagram, go to the link in my bio, and then right at the top you'll have the link for this bundle, so you can get it. Facebook, you should be able to click the link right here, and then you should be able to get it as well. How many people still got?
36 on Facebook and 51 on Insta.
Cool. Well, I appreciate you guys watching this. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to give a suggestion on a next training or anything like that, make sure that you DM PlaceForPros and we'll set it up.
Do Guru Pans work with Flow FX?
No, they don't. They don't. All right, guys. Thank you. Say bye to Alex.
Bang. Bye, guys.
Thank you, Alex. Peace out, guys.